Okay, welcome back. We're going to look at masking in this module 4. Now masking is not quite 3D, but you'll use it in 3D animation, and we're creating a mask of a clip on a shape in this instance. So I've been playing with it before. This was the end product here, and if I clip on preview, this will be motion twained with the image behind. It's a little bit fast, and you'd slow it down by making it longer. And okay, but that's what we're going to achieve in the long run. So I'm going to start a new clip. So we're going to go new, ActionScript 3. We're going to keep it on these settings, which is a default setting. Keep it on 24 frames per second, white background, and away we go. Okay, so we've got a layer 1, and what we're going to do is first create some shapes. So I'm just going to do 2. You can do as many as you like. You can change the shape, however you want to present it. I'm going to go to the sub-selection tool, and just like in Illustrator, we can bend the vertices of these shapes. So you click on the vertice, drag it to the desired shape that you want. Okay, rightio. So now we're going to click on the one that we want to work on, and we're going to do Command X on the Mac, and we're going to place it in the library. Now this is a little bit sneaky, so we're going to create a new symbol just by clicking on the layer down here, and we're going to call this one Shape 1, and it's a movie clip. Okay, and it's now in our library. Okay, now the next thing we need to do is import an image. Oh, let's go down here. I think I've jumped the gun a bit, but let's go down here and call this Shape 1. Okay, so Shape 1 is here. Now we're going to import to the library an image of New York City, the skyline of NYC at night, which is absolutely spectacular. And we're going to drag that onto the stage. Now that's too small, so we're going to minimize that. We're going to go to our transform tool, and we're going to bring this up. It's not the best image, but so the length I'm going to put is 500%, and I'm going to change this by 400, and that should do for now. Okay, so I've put that on the shape layer, which is kind of silly, so I'm going to rename that image, and then I'm going to create a new layer, and this new layer I'm going to call Shape 1. So you need the shape on the top layer so that the image doesn't cover up the shape, and I should be able to do Control V. Okay, so there's our shape. We're going to go to Properties again and make sure that it's always on 0,0 settings, because you need to have it aligned. And I'm going to have to move this image around, so I'm going to take my selection tool there and my shape layer, image on the bottom. So where's my shape gone? I'll go back to properties, make sure it's, I'll click on this, make sure it's, okay, anyway, it's going to go down. Okay, so the next thing I do is go down to my image layer, where I'm going to put a motion twain in. So click on the first and go motion twain, and you'll see that you get all these different layers of these squares or rectangles, and you know it's motion twained. Now I've got to drag it out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it out to 100, and I'm going to insert a keyframe. Don't put a frame, because you want something new in that box. So put a keyframe in, and then I'll drag it out to, come on, oh, I'll drag this out to 150 and go insert keyframe. Now I seem to have lost my keyframe here, so insert. Okay, so I've got 3 keyframes. I'm going to go back to the beginning here. And what I'm going to do is just move the image, and you can see the motion twinning happening. I'm sort of going up so that it captures the building. I'm going to go to the end here, and I'm going to start moving it back. Okay, so the other thing I've forgotten to do is put keyframes on the shape, not keyframes but frames. So I'm going to drag this out right out to the end here, and on this layer I'm going to go insert timeline frames, and it should turn gray. Now it's not exactly where I want it to be, so I'm going to put more frames there and insert frames, so that should all be gray, which it's not. Okay, well that'll do. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is go Control, so I'm going to click on the shape because that's what I'm going to mask now. So on this shape, I'm going to select it. I'm going to, oh, what's going on here now? I don't want to lock it. Just want to select it and click on that layer, and then go Mask, and you've now created a mask on your layer. So let's see if I can get this up a bit. And when you preview it, it'll scroll through the New York City skyline, which is pretty cool. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, now I've named that incorrectly. That should have been mask 1. So I thought I'd kind of stuff this up a bit, but so if you go back to your original one here, or your original scene, you should be able to drag out shape number 1 onto here, and if you preview it, it should scroll through, but it's going really slow, probably because it's not rendered. But that's the gist of it. There'll be a step-by-step instructions down the bottom of the page. See how you go. It is pretty fiddly, and we'll move on to After Effects, and we'll do masking in there. Okay.